Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another BoshNRoll video. Today I'm playing Legacy. This is a donation deck list from Patreon subscriber Jake, and Jake wants me to play Bogles. This is a well-established modern archetype named after Slipring Bogle. This is a 1-mana 1/1 hexproof creature, and if you cover it in auras, it can become quite a monster, and it's very difficult to remove. So Jake wanted to see if this deck works in Legacy, and this is the list that he sent me at first. He's the first big change from Modern is that Modern it's a green-white deck. In Jake's build is blue-white. This is not completely unexplored territory in Legacy. There is a deck called Blouses that uh, existed a long time ago. I think it came up around the time Geist of St. Traft was printed, and basically it puts it's like a Bant aggro mid-range tempo deck, but it has a couple powerful enchantments or spells you can put on your Geist of St. Traft to make a giant hexproof beat stick. And that's kind of what this deck is doing, except it's skipping the whole Bant tempo thing and just going to the face with your auras. I made a bunch of changes to Jake's deck, a lot more than I normally make, because I tried to comb through it with using modern decks as a guide, plus my own legacy history and awareness. So here is my updated version. So this looks pretty different, although it is still a blue-white auras deck. So first big thing, I cut the brainstorms. Jake had 4 brainstorm in the deck. I would rather lean into the staggering insight, curious obsession, and curiosity for our card just advantage. Forget about selection. Let's go straight upstairs and get card advantage. And brainstorm is the kind of card that I don't think you really have time or want to cast in a deck like this. You want to be attacking. You want like probably exactly 1 force of will over the course of a game for whatever their payoff is, but the point of a deck like this is virtual card advantage in the form of your hexproof creatures make their removal spells blanks. So we don't have time to brainstorm in a deck like this. So Jake's original list also had significantly fewer auras than the modern shells do. The modern shells play somewhere around 29 auras, and Jake's had somewhere like 17, I think, 18. It was a lot less. So I cut the 4 brainstorms for 3 Hyena Umbra and a Curiosity. So Jake had the Curious Obsession and the Staggering Insight. I added straight up Curiosity as well. The Hyena Umbra first strike is pretty important because the biggest card in Legacy that can interact with a giant Bogle is Ice Fang Coatl. And if you give your Bogle first strike, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Also, I think the second biggest card we need to worry about is Supreme Verdict, and Totem Armor handles that. So Hyena Umbra checks 2 important boxes. Then Curiosity replaces the Brainstorms uh, card selection, seeing more cards aspect of that. I also cut Jake's main deck Brazen Borrower for another Curiosity. I would rather commit to this plan. Brazen Borrower is there mostly to remove just whatever random permanent might be a problem. I have 2 Teferis in the main deck as the catch-all, plus the Force of Wills, and then I want to deal with specific problematic permanents out of the sideboard. So leaning in on the main plan here. Now that Brainstorm isn't in the deck, we don't need fetch lands anymore. Jake had a fetch land mana base. I just have lands that come into play, all natural, and they're ready to make mana. I'm a little suspicious about the 2 Wasteland, but I think it might be good enough. It barely taps for mana in this deck, like pure color white, pure blue, blue, blue. This one has colorless. Teferi, Spirit Mantle, Invisible Stalker, and Core Spirit Dancer are the only cards that actually use colorless mana, so Wasteland is a little sus. I should think of this as a 16 land deck, But we got this Chrome Mox package to help out with that. Jake had 2 in his list, and I cut one of the 4 Daybreak Coronets for a third Chrome Mox, because I think that getting out ahead is going to be important. And Daybreak Coronet, while being one of the best cards in the modern build, in Legacy is a little suspicious, because although decks can't interact with our creatures once they resolve, they can still interact with our auras. And Snoko plays like 3 Abrupt Decays and an Assassin's Trophy. Any blue or red deck is going to have Pyroblast on the sideboard, which hits a lot of our auras. So Daybreak Coronet is a little bit more suspicious in Legacy than it is in other formats. But Coronet also grants first strike to get through Coatls. Spirit Mantle gets through Coatls, protection from creatures. That's good stuff. I think that'll streamline the package. Having the raw card advantage, the 2 extra Curiosities over the Brainstorms will help mitigate the Chrome Moxes, so I can support a third one with this build. And then, so those are my main deck changes. And then out of the sideboard, Jake had a Counterbalance and 2 On Thin Ice. I turned those into 2 Stony Silence and a third Swords to Plowshares. Without the fetch lands anymore, we can't really reliably have a Snowland in play for On Thin Ice. And I think Swords to Plowshares is mostly a better card anyway. On Thin Ice can't pick off like like Merit Lage at instant speed in the end step, which is what I would want Swords to Plowshares for. And then Jake had a bunch of Flusterstorms and Counterbalance and stuff to deal with combo, but the way you beat combo is Stony Silence and Deafening Silence. It's not about countering their spells, it's about making sure they don't cast them. So those are the changes I made. Hopefully this gets more streamlined, and let's just see how Bogles line up with Legacy. Alright, I'm on the play, game 1, and I have a turn 1 Invisible Stalker. With Force backup, I'll keep this. I hope I don't have to use the Force, though, because then I don't have Curiosity. Another opponent who appreciates the channel. Oh, they mulled to 5, that's generous. So I kind of wish, I mean, this hand is pretty close to perfect, or at least the best I could hope for. I wish the second Seachrome Coast was just a blue card, or a redundant Curiosity effect. Exiling Hyena Umbra. An unblockable creature doesn't need first strike. Alright, we're in there. Their avatar is Golos. Let's see if that actually means anything. They kept 5. Summoner's Pact. Oh baby. Is this oops all spells? Alright, well hopefully this Force of Will does what I need it to. Is Pact of Negation the last card? Was this the perfect Meld to 5? Nope. Alright. We got a turn 1 win with Bogles. Good start. Alright, so Mindbreak Trap, Rest in Peace, Surgical Extraction, and Flusterstorm all come in here. Deafening Silence does too, I guess. For sure. Okay, so pretty stacked combo sideboard. That's for a reason, because we are otherwise not great against it. I'd probably cut Wasteland, because they don't really have any lands, and it barely taps for mana anyway. Daybreak Core or Spirit Mantle is not a card I'm going to need in this matchup at all. I think I like all the 1 mana auras better than any of the non-1 mana auras. So Daybreak Coronet's probably the next cut. And Lifelink and First Strike just don't matter. Sideboarding is nice because there's so many cards that just don't even matter. If we want to think of it like that, which I usually do. And there's not going to be time to core Spirit Dance in this matchup. So in these 8 anti-combo cards, I could also bring in Stony Silence, because they do play Chrome Mox and Lotus Petal. I mean, they're probably better than Core Spirit Dancer, so in they come. It's a little awkward to Chrome Mox out a Stony Silence, but hopefully it'll be worse for them than it is for me. Alright, here's my deck. This actually looks like a pretty mean pile after sideboard. Well, I'm gonna need a turn, but I don't think I can mulligan this hand. I mean, the whole thing about Oops All Spells is they don't give you a turn. But like, if they spend a turn casting Cabal Therapy and then pass, then I'm good. Alright, the land came into play tapped. That's probably a good sign. Alright, playing out that Lotus Petal, playing around Flusterstorm. So this is a little awkward because if I pitch Curiosity, then I don't really have a good equipment or a good aura for my Bogle. But I can't pass the turn without playing Bogle, and I can't pass without leaving up Flusterstorm. So I'm going to do everything I can. Alright, so hopefully they just don't just have the Balustrade Spy. Please name Force of Will and not Flusterstorm. Though I have shown that Flusterstorm is a likely card that I have. Alright, cool. They went for the easy one rather than the one that I signaled. There's a lot of ways that this deck can beat this because their payoffs are creatures. Maybe I'm just supposed to hit the Dark Ritual. I don't know. This was tough. Because once they mill their deck, they can flashback Cabal Therapy. Alright, so this is getting a green creature only. Okay. And then this is going to cast the Spy. Okay. I should have countered the Pact. Alright, so now I'm dead. I had 2 chances to make a correct play there, and failed the test on both of them. So, Bridge from Below, 4 Narcomoebas. Yeah, they just... I'm dead. And the Oracle is there too. Yeah, alright. Note to self. Fluster the cards you can fluster, because you can't fluster the actual win con. Whoops. Alright, my sideboard plan doesn't change. So now I'm on the play. Now they've seen Flusterstorm. I'm gonna keep the shit out of this. It has Deafening Silence and Force Blue card. Alright, so my only blue card is also my only threat, but hopefully the potent amount of hate. Like, I can protect my Deafening Silence with a Force of Will, which is worth a lot of time in this matchup. They did keep 7 for the first time, though. Alright, so they therapy my Force, which means I can play my Bogle. Guilt-free. Yep, no surprise there. It's time to top deck Mindbreak Trap. Oh, even better. I'm not sure if they can beat both these cards. I'm not sure they could beat the one. Hateful, hateful cards. Yeah, and they're just dead. Alright, so we got a turn 1 and a turn 2 win with Bogles. Deck's unbeatable. On to the next match. Alright, I'm on the play with a hand with a Bogle and a Curiosity. I'm going to keep it. And no disruption, so... Whee! I've played against this opponent recently, but I forget what they were up to. I'm getting like Doomsday vibes, maybe. We'll see. I hope they're shitting their pants right now. Yes. Forcing that is awesome because I have this Invisible Stalker as a backup. So force pitching Brainstorm. That was a good Slippery Bogle. Wow. The old 1-mana Hymn to Turok, stripping a Brainstorm. Okay. This is probably not Doomsday. Don't have another force, please. Alright. The juice is loose. Can't plow this. Can't... they need Supreme Verdict or Terminus. Ooh, this might be the person I played against who was playing like a Bant Miracles with Days Undoing. I don't know. I'm going to stop trying to trick myself into believing something that isn't true. I'll just play what they present to me. This Curiosity is going to be insane, though. Only Legendary in our hearts. What did they do? They shuffled with the Ponder. Oh, wow. That was a card. So this was perfect bait because if this doesn't resolve, Curiosity does, and if this does resolve, I just draw 1,000,000 cards instead of 1. Yeah, they're going to plow that in response. That's a 1-for-1 trade. That's fine. You got a deal. Or it's a 2-for-1 actually because I drew a card. All right, bring on the cards. Now this is just Innistrad standard format all over again. See if my opponent's entire deck can beat an Invisible Stalker. Because that is basically what was happening back then when this card was standard legal. It ruined the limited format too. Like this card was... It seems silly, but this is probably the biggest design mistake out of Innistrad, like, or at least the closest thing to a design mistake. Oh no, do they have Council's Judgment? The card has mostly fallen out of favor, but I mean, I've put it back into some of my decks. All right, Teferi, probably going to bounce Curiosity. Yep. Deals damage to an opponent. Okay. Teferi is not my opponent. All right, so now I think I just pile on. If they have Supreme Verdict, fuck me, I guess. And I would really like to draw Hyena Umbra off of this Curiosity trigger. Because they are about to pivot into the Supreme Verdict phase of the game. Oh, that's so close. Alright, all dressed up. Literally. Supreme Verdict or bust here. And with Teferi, they could even cast it as an instant if they have it, so piling on more auras could be dangerous. Alright, what do you got? Please just like cast Ponder. Like do something here other than Supreme Verdict. Anything at all. I kind of wish this was a legend so I could save it with my Caracas. Geist of St. Traft is a legend. Maybe that is something to consider for future builds. Though 3 mana to get the party started is a lot. There was a time when Geist of St. Traft was a legacy card, if you can believe that. Coronet. Okay, so if I cast Coronet and they have nothing, I win the game. If I cast Coronet and they Wrath, then I lose Coronet for no reason. But if I attack and they don't have anything, then Coronet's sitting in my hand for no reason anyway, so might as well move in. And I don't have to worry about this force because they have Teferi anyway. Oh no, they had it. Oh, Orm's Chant. Okay, they're up to something totally different here. That I am okay with. Deal. That's suspicious though. What are they up to? Now what does this deck do? Are they some sort of combo deck? Are they an Isochron Scepter lock deck? That would suck. If they could remove this, they would. So the Orm's Chant is kind of a blessing. And with the Coronet now, this is a lethal attack, so they have to prevent it every turn from now on. I'm just gonna move to combat. Oh no, this is so much mana. Please Snapcast or Orm's Chant. Intuition. Alright, are they gonna get 3 Orm's Chants? Or 3, well, 3 Supreme Verdicts doesn't kill me. I think this is the opponent I played against with like a Savine's Reclamation package. You can have Brainstorm in your hand. You're gonna have to work for this. Alright, and the kicker of Orm's Chant is can attack, so they don't have mana to kick Orm's Chant right now. I'm not sure what's left that they could do in this spot, unless they play like Holy Day. Like, they didn't reveal a Terminus when this Brainstorm resolved. Like, that was the other thing they could potentially have. Alright, Invisible Stalker. And now sideboarding for this deck. Yeah, probably want Flusterstorm. And if they have Teferi, it doesn't matter. But in general, Flusterstorm seems pretty good. They're an Intuition deck. Surgical might have some implications here. Also, Mindbreak Trap. Just hard counter, like pay 4 mana, exile Supreme Verdict does work. So, do I want to play for a Supreme Verdict that they may or may not have? I don't think I want the Surgicals. Like, I need to see more of their deck before I make super informed decisions, but I'm fairly confident I want Flusterstorm. Spirit Mantle is a 2 mana card that may or may not do anything in this matchup. Then, see, Mindbreak Trap. I don't think so. I think I'm just going to do that one switch. And in we go. Seal of Cleansing will probably have targets in this matchup. I just, I want to see what they are before I know what's going on. Like, they might have, like, Trade Routes, Null Rod, like, that Intuition package, I'm pretty sure this is the opponent I played against who went, like, Intuition for Savine's Reclamation and 2 good cards. This is so close. I need a land. But I don't think I can keep this hand as it currently exists. Alright. Here's this hand now. This seems so anemic and bad, and it probably is. So let's see how this goes. Drawing Slippery Bogle would be great. Old modern deck right here. So if they can force Invisible Stalker, then that's one less counterspell for Teferi, and then I'm still in the game at least. All right, well, now I can force back. All right, so if they could have red blasted, they would have. Yeah, I'm going to move in on this. All right, it's in there. Force a will, pretty good draw. Now we race Curious Obsession versus Council's Judgment and Orm's Chant and Supreme Verdict. I actually don't care about Orm's Chant. Just, oh, now we have a real race going on. All right, I'm glad I have Stalker and not Bogle. Ooh, Curious Obsession is actually super awkward against Orm's Chant because if you don't attack, this dies. Nice. All right, so I'm gonna attack before I Wasteland. I am almost certainly gonna Wasteland their Tundra though. I gotta slow them down at this point. Got a lifelink thing would be good. Oh, Hyena Umbra plays around Supreme Verdict. All right, it did extend into Council's Judgment though. This we'll see. Uh-oh. Disenchant my life. All right, Disenchant's a solid card. All right, I play 10 of that effect. Let's just draw another one right away. Or Daybreak Coronet. Oh, they wastelanded me back. All right, we're playing small ball here. I think them wastelanding me here is kind of insane. As in, like, crazy and bad. Because they have a mentor. They want to get velocity. I just need to resolve some auras. Right, I'm going to keep attacking. I think drawing a lifelink aura is a better long-term plan than trying to block and trade with these monks, or block the monks. I have first strike, so it's not a trade. Guess I should have played Hallowed Fountain also, since I didn't have a spell. And I'm not going to play this Core Spirit Dancer right now, because I don't have an aura to cash in on it. And I don't want to turn on their Swords to Plowshares if I don't have to, because it's not just like plow 1-for-1 trade. They get a monk and prowess triggers off it. Uh-oh, that one's really bad. Now I wish I played my Core Spirit Dancer. All right, so now I need lifelink. Yeah, so what happened this game is that the Disenchant just took off my card advantage engine, and that was basically my whole plan. So Daybreak Coronet or bust right now. Or Staggering Insight, that also gives lifelink. Slippery Bogle, that's what I wanted, for sure. Alright, I'll pressure Narset, I guess, at this point. And I guess I'll just run out all the cards in my hand. Here they are. I have some potential top decks. Like the Ponder is, I'm gonna chump Mentor with Slippery Bogle, and then can I still draw a lifelink enchantment to survive this? I'm not sure. Yep, brickwalled by the finest of magical creatures, Monastery Mentor. Alright, so that's 6 damage coming through around the Mentor. I probably have to chump with Spirit Dancer at this point. If they have Swords to Plowshares, I just lose. Yeah, I can't beat this anyway. Alright. Yep, GG. Alright, so maintaining the card advantage, pretty important. I'm not sure that bringing in Swords to Plowshares is what I want to do, though that game would have been pretty trivial without Mentor in play. Though, what do I cut if I am going to do that? Maybe I want the Spirit Mantle back in, but it's just the one Mentor, so trying to think of, like, if I have Bogle instead of Invisible Stalker, how bad is a Mentor for me? And I think the answer is, like, very. Because we're not green, I have no way to give Trample. And there, like, this has unblockable, but there's no way to give this unblockable other than Spirit Mantle. So I think I want the Spirit Mantle back in. And then maybe one of the Chromoxes or one of the Wastelands can get cut. Yeah, I'll cut a Wasteland. Alright, I'm going to do this. I would like to play first. No Bogle. Yuck. This is the first time we've had them all a creatureless hands. Alright, I'll keep this one. Chromox can go, and Hyena Umbra can go. So I'm going to lead on Bogle. Like, having 2 creatures and Curiosity was, like, kind of the perfect setup, because if they force this, then I have a second one, and they're incentivized to force it because I mulligan solo. Alright, yep, there's the force. Got that Bogle to Turok once again. Yikes, that sucks. Let's draw another Bogle. It was a pretty aggressive Wasteland, but I think it was a good one. Alright, I need to draw a land right meow. Come on, deck. Show me the land. Shit. Alright, well now I have something easy to pitch to Force of Will anyway. I'm not going to force a Brainstorm. That's not this deck's plan. Land. Shit. Oh, someday. I did board out that Wasteland, and it's like currently matters kind of a lot. Seal of Cleansing. Okay, that's in play now. They're ready for my first aura. Oh my god, it's a miracle. They did miss a land drop last turn, so they are somewhat Brainstorm locked. And I have a force, so I can protect this if they force. They're thinking about it. Thinking really hard. All right, they came up with an answer. Force pitch and Court of Cunning. All right, Teferi can go. All right, Stalker's in. It's half the battle. And they should have one more card they're drawing here that's not a land. Okay, yeah, because they had one more Brainstorm card to work through. They didn't have a shuffle off their Brainstorm, and they missed a land drop, so they were Brainstorm locked. Let's see if they're still Brainstorm locked. Wow, they still are. Land, please. All right, that was not a land. I'm not going to run the Curiosity straight into Seal of Cleansing. I want to play this Core Spirit Dancer, and then next turn I can at least get a card off the Curiosity. Oh, they have Terminus. Shit. Alright, well, I have Force of Will. Definitely dead if this Terminus resolves. Okay, now where are we? So, a 1-mana Aura is my best draw, because that gives me a chance to draw a second 1-mana Aura off the Core Spirit Dancer. This Ponder would have to find somehow land and Swords to Plowshares, which a Ponder is not capable of doing. So let's draw some bangers here. They did not shuffle. Uh-oh. Fuck. Now I'm drawing the lands that I wanted earlier. And I'm not bluffing anything with one card, so Seachrome Coast and you go. Uh-oh. Come on, auras. Auras. Okay. So they can destroy this, but let's chain a few together here. Make it harder. Damn it. I boarded out the land and then end up getting punished because I did. Like, I stumbled early, which gave them time to set up. And now, at the point where I'm glad I don't have more lands in my deck, I'm drawing them. So, okay. I'm playing out my lands because if we string together some auras and stuff, there might be a point where I'm going to want my land drop. But I don't even know if that's true. Yeah, if they plow this thing, it's about done. Yep. So Staggering Insight is my best draw now because it gives both lifelink and card advantage. Yeah, sweet. Terminus, one of the best cards that there is against a deck like this. They're gonna Orms chant me? Yeah, okay. Haha, you wasted it. I couldn't cast that anyway. That is a very exciting draw, though. Unless they just chain a bunch of chants together and kill me, or they just prowess me out this turn. But if I draw an aura, this gives lifelink and vigilance, so I can attack, gain a bunch of life. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, not quite dead. But yeah, if I can get vigilance and lifelink onto this creature, then I gain life on the attack, I gain life on the block. Alright, gotta draw an aura right now. Any aura. Not that one, I should have been more specific. Ah. Alright, I'm dead. Yep, the Daybreak Coronet gives and it takes. Yeah, so that game was kind of wonky, like missing the land drop early and then flooding out on lands in the middle. Like a more reasonable distribution of lands, I think I would have been in that, but they did also play well, and that deck is pretty well suited to messing me up. That wasteland was really powerful. All right, next round. All right, I'm on the play with a hand that doesn't come out quick, but this is like rock solid. And it's pretty bad against Wasteland and Daze. Let's just hope they're playing Snow or something. My opponent is like, tapped Hallowed Fountain, go. Did you join the wrong queue? Like, no, I'm in the right one. I'm just playing a modern deck. Please play Arkham's Astrolabe. Uh-oh. So Daze is on. Good thing I have 2 Stalkers. Maybe I'm supposed to wait a turn and play around Daze? Like, make them have the Force of Will? Yeah, I think that would have been better. Yeah, I just played super crazy there. Alright, so they missed on that. My next one won't be Dazeable. So that's a step in the right direction. They topped both of their cards. That sucks. Wish I played around Daze last turn, because now they can force this and the pressure's totally off. Yeah, that was really bad. I just played this game poorly, and I deserve to lose for it. Maybe I'll top deck another creature and go off. Alright, so drawing Core Spirit Dancer would be great. Bogle, just any creature, really. Yeah, it's basically always worth it in a deck like this where your one card matters to take your time, and I just didn't think about it until it was too late. And now they're gonna pull way ahead with Dreadhorde Arcanist. I mean, the sick part of all this is that I could still, like, if one creature resolves, I can still easily win this game, but now we're at a point where creatures are unlikely to resolve. They pitched Oko to force, so they are Rug, even though they're playing just an Is it Delver game so far. One top, one bottom. Bogle. Alright, I'm dead. Yeah, I fucked that up. I did not prioritize my important spell, play around what I could play around. So, yeah, so a lot of people talk about how blue decks are hard to play, but it's actually these like aggro decks that are hard to play because if you just make one mistake, it's absolutely punishing and you're not coming back from it, which is totally different than like a deck like Shark Still where you like, oh, I should have countered that, but I can still draw the Council's Judgment to answer it later. Like I made one small misstep that game and it was game over. GG. So I think I want some number of Swords to Plowshares, or do I just ignore their creatures? Maybe I just ignore their creatures and bring in Flusterstorm to help win important counter wars. Rest in Peace is really good against Rug Delver, but I'm not sure if that's where I want to be. Yeah, I think I just want to bring in the Flusterstorm. And what do I want to board out? I mean, Spirit Mantle is very important. We've seen Young Pyromancer. Hyena Umbra, maybe not super important at this point because Rug doesn't have like a sweeper that can kill the things, and they'll be bigger than all the other creatures, so First Strike doesn't matter a lot. Like, they don't have anything with Death Touch. Daybreak Coronet is a 2-mana spell that can be a dead draw against Rug, so actually, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Alright, this is my plan. It's minimal sideboarding. Okay, this one's good. I get to get in under Daze with my Slippery Bogle. Then I have a way to reload with Core Spirit Dancer. So yeah, this is a really good opening hand, actually. If they curve Force into Daze and clock me, they could win this game, but I think if any of these creatures resolve, I'm going to win. All right. We're in there. Oh, they might have Blazing Volley. If they Blazing Volley right now, that sucks. All right, Blazing Volley is not an instant. All right, so Curious Obsession gets red blasted. Staggering Insight also gets red blasted. Spirit Mantle doesn't get red blasted, but also doesn't really do anything. It does get dazed, but if they want to set themselves back a land to cast Daze, I'm okay with that. Like, I'll wait until a future turn where I can double spell, or that I can, or if they like tap out for Dreadhorde Arcanist or Young Pyromancer here, then I can sneak in my Curious Obsession. Yeah, I'm gonna learn my lesson from game 1 and play around what I can play around. Like, there was no reason to shove one of my better auras straight into Pyroblast there. All right, they're fetching. Okay, it's time to push. Let's draw a land. Land. Not a land. Okay. I'm still gonna play around Daze and go with the Curious Obsession. Like, all right, so that ends up being a 2-for-1 for pitching Delver. All right, so you're at 14 before you've even attacked. God, a land would have been so good there. Delver didn't flip. So Delver not flipping is a big deal. There's Dreadhorde Arcanist. Still looking for that land. All right, now I can play around Daze. They're still representing Pyroblast. But do I respect it? Do I care? Because Staggering Insight will win the game. Maybe I'll play the Invisible Stalker, actually. Because that will bait a Pyroblast if they have it. Alright, cool. Then Staggering Insight on Invisible Stalker. Now they get the Brainstorm out of it, though. Yeah, that might have been... I might be playing too scared. Alright, now they have Force of Will. Bummer. So hopefully I draw a land, or I can use these Core Spirit Dancers to try to bait the Force of Will. Or let's see if they even want the Force. They can fetch still before they draw it. Alright, they didn't want Force. That probably means they think they're losing. Or they don't have a blue card to pitch. Yeah, I would really like to draw a land so I can lead on Core Spirit Dancer and then at least get a card out of Staggering Insight on the cast, even if it gets countered. All right, they are suddenly winning the race also. Yikes. Young Pazarino. Land? Alright, cool. So I can Wasteland Volcanic Island. That's not even good though. Because I would have to go to combat. They would just float red. Okay, hopefully that was good. Alright, deck. It's time. Don't have Daze, don't have Pyroblast. They have one card left, but they did brainstorm recently. Just let me have it. Yes. All right, so I can leave back my bogle. Time to do some math. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I gain 2. I go to 15. I take 7. I think I should be attacking with everything. I mean, I'm definitely attacking with Invisible Stalker, but attacking with everything, keep the clock on. Oh, they did have Pyroblast. They were just... Okay, that was really smart. They played that really well. Because now I don't know that I need to block. Extremely well played there. They are Hellbent, though. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, I need to draw some auras. That's not an aura. Am I dead? Let's see, block, 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 or block, block, 3, 4. I'm at 1. Alright, I guess I'm passing the turn here. I'm gonna hope they don't draw anything at all, ever. That Pyroblast was so good. They tricked me into making that attack really well. Alright, if they blank and then I draw an aura, we got a chance. If they have a cantrip and can go off with Dreadhorde Arcanist, we probably lose. If they have Lightning Bolt, we actually lose. Like, Force of Will's a dead draw. Force of Negation isn't great, but it is, like, it does play. Oh, this is tough. Alright, Justin with Delver, that makes sense. Alright, deck, let's string 3 auras together. Okay, now it doesn't even matter, because they could just elk my Spirit Dancer. Oh, they didn't do that. Interesting. Alright, let's string some auras together, come on. Ugh. Or I'm just dead. That was close. Yeah, me fucking up that game 1 was rough. The Wasteland showed up just a turn too late, even like a step too late, a step of the game too late. Like, even if I had that Wasteland in my draw step, I would have known to waste before we get to my main phase. So really well played. They baited me into that attack, which cut a turn off the clock. So opponent played that game really well. And we just ran out of gas. But running out of gas against Rug Delver, that's kind of what they want you to do. And that was the tier 1 of Legacy, and it was still kind of close. So maybe we're doing something here. I don't know. All right, I'm on the play here. I'm actually going to pitch Bogle to Chrome Mox to go for a turn 1 Invisible Stalker because it's just a better creature. And I have 2 of them. Opponent's like, oh no. And now they're like, oh yeah, once I pitch the Bogle. I do need some auras to put on these things, but I am pretty lined up here. I guess I probably should have pitched a fairy and cast 2 creatures. That might have been a better start. Once upon a time. What deck are you? Oh, just depths. Alright, so a lifelink aura of some variety would be nice. Yeah, now I don't really regret pitching Bogle over to fairy. Maybe I do. Alright, well, not having any auras in my hand here is actually kind of good because we played around Inquisition accidentally. Let's draw one of those, one of the curiosity effects. That's not a curiosity effect, but it's not bad. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold this force. Be ready for a crop rotation, slow them down a turn. They should be suspicious that I could have cast my Stalker and didn't. It's a pretty big tell that I have Force of Will. If they go for Hexmage, I will force it. I'll probably force just about anything they put on the stack here, honestly. Curiosity. Oh, that's a good card to have in this matchup. Surprise. Alright, so now they have to beat a Caracas and a Force of Will. And they only have 16 turns to do it. I mean, playing the Caracas out maybe was a mistake, but I do need to hit land drops anyway, so I think it's fine. Abrupt Decay, my Chrome Mox. Okay. Barely even using that. Haven't you seen me pass without playing a spell the last several turns? You got me. That must mean they have more than one. They wouldn't just crack off on Chrome Mox if they... if they were like pants down to an aura. Yeah, I'm definitely casting Force of Will on crop rotation if I see it. Aura. Yes. It's even the one that I wanted. And this is slightly worse than Staggering Insight, but it is a curiosity effect, which is what we're looking for. Doubled the clock. Right, Teferi is a pretty good one also. But the important thing is we're drawing 2 cards a turn. They can Abrupt Decay my Obsession, that's fine. Just have to watch out if I draw Daybreak Coronet, not to play straight into that. Another Stalker. So I could play Teferi this turn, but then I'd be tapped out of Caracas. So in comes Invisible Stalker. They didn't have the Abrupt Decay. That's surprising. So I could pitch Teferi, play the second Stalker. Or I could just keep this. Like, is there anything they can do to fuck me up here? Alright, I'm gonna pass. I'm just gonna leave up Caracas. Like, normal depth decks don't play Liliana or like Smallpox. Like that's not a thing I'm gonna respect. Hexmage, okay. That doesn't do anything. I'm gonna put another obsession on this. It's gonna be so obsessed. So I get to draw 2 cards here. Okay, is this Ethereal Armor lethal next turn? No, but it's pretty close. I could pitch Teferi and play Slippery Bogle. Trying to think, like Teferi is generally pretty good in this matchup. Alright, I'm just gonna pass here. Like I can Chrome Mox next turn. I guess I could have Chrome Mox pitching Teferi, play Ethereal Armor now, try to get more damage on the board. Dark Confidant. Ooh, that's risky when you're taking this much damage a turn. Okay, so if they crop rotate for Wasteland and then sack, they can win. So what can I do about that? All right, land is good. So if I put Curiosity and Ethereal Armor on the Invisible Stalker, this would get +4/+4. So it'd only be 7 damage. Don't think Ethereal Armor helps me. What does help me? I guess Drawing Force of Will helps me. Also, I guess if I jam this Ethereal Armor, that makes Dark Confidant potentially lethal, even if they do make the play I described. Like if they flip a 2 off Bob, they still just lose. All right, let's go. All right, let me draw Force of Will. How about that? That would also check the boxes I need it to. All right, they just conceded. Wow. Okay, they must not have had it. Cool. All right. Coast to coast with that Invisible Stalker. Swords to Plowshares coming in. I think I also like Flusterstorm in this matchup. And that's about it. Like Flusterstorm just contests the crop rotation sort of plays. And it can hit a discard spell, so that's all good. Daybreak Coronet, a little bit sketch. Don't really love Teferi necessarily, though them having to respect, though they don't really have to respect Teferi. They didn't see Wasteland that game, so they're unlikely to go for a main phase Merit Lage to play around Wasteland, which is how you get them with Teferi. And I'm bringing in the Plows as sort of a Teferi, a secondary Teferi, like a 1-mana instant speed that effect that does what Teferi does in this matchup. And I don't think Hyena Umbra is super important for this one. Maybe I want to pitch a Chromox and bring my Hyena Umbra back in. I've been running into a problem pretty consistently in the last couple matchups where like I have the creature, I even have Core Spirit Dancer and just don't have auras, which is not somewhere I want to be. Alright, this hand's great. It has Plow and Wasteland. That's 2 of the best cards against depths. And then it also has multiple Bogles, so they can't just discard my Bogle and get me. So if they cast a discard spell, I suspect they'll take Plow. As Plow is the most unique card in the hand, and it's the one that lines up best against them. Like they can't collapse my draw with anything else. The only other option is Core Spirit Dancer if they think the game's going to go that long, but Plow seems like a pretty easy take to me. Oh wow. Well, I was wrong, it seems. Alright, go Bogle. But now they've seen the Plow in the Wasteland, so they know that they need to play around both. The Pithing Needle on Wasteland? What's the plan? Alright. Okay, so they can Inquisition, take Plow, Pithing Needle on Wasteland, and then the shields are up. Alright, finally respecting Plow. Okay, yep, that was the line I described. So now I need a lifelink aura to get above 20 life. I'm gonna play Core Spirit Dancer because gives me the hottest top decks. And here we go. If they have depths plus a Lotus Petal or Spirit Guide, I lose. Alright, Thoughtseize my Bogle, don't care about that. Alright, I mean, Aura off the top is insane. Yeah. So I can put this on Core Spirit Dancer to get more damage through, because it'll be +4 plus, or +3/+3 instead of +1/+1. Yeah, I think gaining more life is worth doing. And they don't have Abrupt Decay up right now, so I'll get at least one good crack in. Alright, extremely interested in drawing a 1-mana aura off of Staggering Insight. And we did it. Alright, this one's going on Bogle. I am also now above 20 life, so I can survive a Merit Lage hit. Alright, now we're going off. They need Abrupt Decay and a Black Rain Source. So they have to be holding the land and draw Abrupt Decay, or the other way around, to break up this Core Spirit Dancer. And I have a 1-mana aura, so we're untapping into some powerful stuff here. They could crop rotate. Oh, alright, I guess they don't have it. They're just being honest. Don't even make me think about it. On to the final round. I'm on the play in round 5. I think that's 5 for 5 on die rolls, isn't it? Not bad. This hand is not a keep, though. No creature. Same problem. Alright, this is a keep. I'm going to ship the Chrome Mox and Teferi. So this has a string of threats. I just need pants to put on them. And I kind of hope we're playing against like Snoko or something that isn't going to mess up my lands. Punished. Let's draw Curiosity or Curious Obsession. I'll take a Hyena Umbra. Alright, now if they want to Wasteland me, they're on a 9-turn clock. I have to think about it more. I wonder if this is Death and Taxes. Oh, baby. Alright, race is on. Still don't know anything about this deck except it contains Wasteland. Alright. And I managed to string through all my land drops, so my 1-mana auras are still alive. Alright, it is Delver. Alright, Force of Will, a good draw. And considering all the things I could draw right now, in land, like one of the Curiosities would have been my best draw. Land is pretty close, second, and Force of Will is the third best draw. We're seeing kind of a thing here that usually comes up in Delver Mirrors, not against Bogles, but if you're on the draw in a Delver Mirror and your opponent goes like Delver Go and you waste, even if you waste more than once, you're taking damage from that Delver the whole way. So it's like not even that great. I'm going to play Spirit Dancer. I think they're more likely to point a counterspell at this, and I would also like to maintain my Force Blue card if possible. They can also just bolt this, which is fine. It's a card out of their hand. Like, it certainly looks like they've done a lot this game, but for the most part, they've Just taking 9 damage. Alright, equipment. Oh. I will Force of Will a daze. I will Force of Will anything that tries to mess with this. All in. And we're in. Go, Bogle, go. This is actually going to be really hard for Rug Delver to beat. Wow, chumping with Dreadheart Arcanist. Didn't think so. What are you thinking over there? Alright, they also clearly don't have Force of Will or Daze in their hand, or else they would have cast them. All in. Let's go. This decks don't play Tarmogoyf anymore. I guess Young Pyromancer. Oh, this is Pokepile. Or some sort of Rug Snow deck. This isn't just regular Rug Delver. Lots of cantrips. If they attack and trigger their Dreadhorde Arcanist... Oh, they can't because I have Vigilance. Never mind. Go ahead, attack. They might have to just to get the Ponder off. Yeah, they're just like YOLO attacking to get another look at cards. Alright, block. That's how Vigilance works. Now they can't crack another fetch land this game. If I draw an aura of any kind, they're dead because they can't Force of Will. Bummer. Alright. But that is presenting another lethal threat. Alright, you can't fetch. You can't force. Here are my Bogles. What do you got in that 6-card hand? They cantripped 4 times last turn and then just conceded. That's the power of Bogles. That's the virtual card advantage. They had 6 cards in their hand, but none of them mattered. Love to see it. I think I'm just going to bring in Flusterstorm to win Counter Wars, like I did in the previous Rug matchup, though this doesn't look like traditional Delver because it has Astrolabe in it. It looks like it's a little bit bigger. So, but I think bringing in the Flusterstorm over one of the Coronets is one of the cleanest ways to upgrade this deck. I don't want to mess with the Chrome Moxes because although they are card disadvantage, they are also like large tempo advantage. So, and getting ahead of the Spell Pierces and the Dazes is pretty important. So I'm gonna submit this deck. All right, my last thought is, do I want any sorts of Plowshares to contest against the Dreadhorde Arcanist, or do I just want to race it and ignore it? And I think I want to race it and ignore it. So like I could cut the forces for Plows, but Plow doesn't work offensively. Like last game I had the offensive Force of Will, which got the Daybreak Coronet into play. I'm going to keep this even though it's really dangerous. It's a 1-lander with Chrome Mox. Like, if they Spell Pierce my Chrome Mox and then Wasteland me, I'm dead. Alright. The Chrome Mox isn't so bad anymore. I kind of hope they do Spell Pierce it. I guess I'll also pitch the Spirit Mantle, so I can play around Daze too. If they force this, I'm just Hellbent. Close to Hellbent. Alright, they're looking. I'll be pretty surprised if this resolves, but also very happy. Nope. It's out of here. Force pitching Brainstorm. Alright. Time to find another creature to put all these enchantments on. Core Spirit Dancer would be an insane draw, so I get to draw a card off the Hyena Umbra right away. Wow. Call it. Shout it out. Don't have another force. I don't even care if they daze this because I'm getting a card off it. And if they don't daze it, then this is out of bolt range. Now I have force blue card somehow. What happened this game? I guess I started with double Chrome Mox. So drawing a blue card would be pretty cool. All right, that's not a blue card. Staggering Insight. I'll play it. I get a card off it, even if they Swords to Plowshares in response, but they haven't indicated they're a white deck. Guess they could Pyroblast Staggering Insight, but I still get the card. Yeah, that's fine. And I'll attack with my 3/5. It has first strike, so I don't have to worry about Ice Fang Coatl. There it is. First strike, Hyena Umbra for the win. Oko is unfortunately actually pretty reasonable here. It turns off my draw engine, but I still have a 4/4 first strike. Just see what they got. Lightning Bolt, oh, they're going to double bolt it. Through my Hyena Umbra, it's going to just kill the Umbra. That was fucked up. Alright, so Hyena Umbra has generated a lot of card advantage this game. Then Core Spirit Dancer is drawing its third card. That was pretty cool. I'm not going to ram this into the Death Touch creature. Now that I have two of these, any aura is just, I'm doing like the full Enchantress. Alright, Uro. Oh, they're down to 2 cards in hand once this Uro trigger resolves. That's not very many. I guess they did double bolt a Core Spirit Dancer with Totem Armor. Alright, so any aura. Let's get this chain rolling. Any aura. Not an aura. Alright, well, at least I can hardcast Force. I can force the Uro on its way back up. We get another turn of looking for any aura. Yeah, I don't care. I already got a card off of that. And that's a Pyroblast that can't fuck with this Force of Will now. So, I like it. I haven't seen days out of them, right? They like this Astrolabe Uro plan makes me think that they don't play that card. Oh, so they went with Oko. I'll force Oko. Just elking up my Spirit Dancer is not excited. Oh, great. So they drew either Oko or the protection for Oko off the top of their deck. So let's see what they want to do with it. If they elk one of my Spirit Dancers, I'll just attack with it. Okay, elking Astrolabe is also fine. Alright, deck. It's time to draw auras. This is an aura deck. Give me an aura. We're so close to going off right now, it's driving me nuts. Okay, okay. Draw 2 cards. Yes. Yes. Okay. We are in business, as they say. I think getting the third Spirit Dancer into play is worth it. Gets +1/+1 and has first strike. So let's give this thing first strike. Then because of Chrome Mox, and I believe I still have my land drop, I could conceivably keep going here. Not like that, but I did draw Force of Will. So now I'm holding Force Blue card on top of all this other action. So I think I want to contest the Oko. Though Staggering Insight drawing a card, if I hit them, is a big deal, but no, I'm going to attack Oko. They're going to block either way, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to give them the chance to mess up. Alright, Force Blue card, hanging out. One, two, three, four. This has to be Uro, and I will force Uro. Even if they elk this Spirit Dancer at this point, it doesn't matter. Because it's still just a giant lifelinking creature that draws cards when it hits. Drawing another aura to diversify my threats is my my best play at this point. I think they pretty clearly just elk this Spirit Dancer. Unless they just want to concede. I would accept that too. They're thinking really hard here. Like, Oko, elk. Okay, yeah. Just elked this. Alright, Aura spell. Aura spell. Damn it. Alright, well, I will just attack my opponent. Because I would rather draw a card here than kill Oko. And I have to get their life total threatened. Do I even draw a card with the way layers work? Nope, apparently not. That sucks. Yep, Oko just layered me out here. So they get to refire on Uro. They can elk another Spirit Dancer. Yeah, I needed to really go nuts that last turn. Yeah, I don't have first strike anymore, so I can't even fearlessly attack into Uro. Not without drawing another aura. Alright, come on, deck. Give me an aura. Auras are still cantrips. I still have one Spirit Dancer left. Aura! Okay. I drew an aura. There's a pretty good one, too. So if I put this on this Spirit Dancer, it'll regain 1 curiosity. And it'll get +2/+2. Yes. Alright, now it's big enough to attack through everything. Do I think I want to keep targeting this one. Though I can make this one so double blocking is a lot harder. If I target this one, it gets +3/+3 instead of +1/+1. But this is already an elk. They probably want to elk this anyway. Now I want to make this big enough to get through all their blockers, because this makes it a 10/10. Oh, now we're cooking with gas. Now I have to target this one because it's the only enchanted creature I have. Alright, attack you. Alright, so if they elk this again, it's still a 14/14. It just loses all its draw cards abilities. Alright, and I can still hold up Flusterstorm if I jam the Slippery Bogle. And the Spirit Dancer very easily can contest Uro in combat. I'm not sure what they can do here. I guess like if they have a bounce spell, like a Brazen Borrower would actually fuck me up pretty good, but I have Flusterstorm for that. So they would have to have some sort of creature that ruins this. They can attack with Uro just to draw a card. Alright, so they elked it again, so it doesn't have the draw card anymore, or lifelink, but it's still a 14/14. Alright, they did not attack just to draw a card. That's not surprising. That would leave them in some trouble, because I do have Elks laying around. And now I can attack with these other creatures too, because they're forced to block with Uro. So the other creatures can just get in around the sides. Ugh. Alright, I will attack my opponent with all of these creatures. They could have Coatl. That would be pretty bad, actually. Shit, they have Coatl. Alright, thought about that a little too late, but I wasn't gonna not attack anyway. Yeah, stripping first strike off of this is brutal. Oko is horseshit. I'm just here trying to have fun with my auras. Yeah, now they get good blocks all around. That was actually horrendous. I don't think I should have made that attack. Fuck. And now they can elk my final Spirit Dancer if they want to. And then my draw engine is off. Though they could just find a lightning bolt first, and that's irrelevant. Of course not blocking. Alright, what's the damage? They could also trade Astrolabe for Core Spirit Dancer, but that wouldn't make any sense unless they play auras of their own. Maybe I should have Rest in Peace in, but again, that's such a reactive card when this whole game we've just sort of been like needing to top deck auras. Alright, we're in Elktown now. Staggering Insight's still good. Slippery Bogle's not good. Alright, I've lost this game. Bummer. Yeah, that Ice Fang Coatl, like I said, Oko stripping the first strike off my creature so Coatl could kill it. That was something. Alright, so I think Swords of Plowshares in some number is better than Force of Will in some number. Because they're not doing a whole lot of spells I super care about, but I do want to make sure I don't get Coatled. And if I could have removed Uro, that game would have been very different. Not sure if I need all three Chrome Mox in this matchup either. Like that, the first two were good. The third one was a very dead draw. Alright, I'm gonna play this deck. There's only one aura in the 75 that's not in the main, and I think that's okay. Alright, so I have Spirit Dancer and Invisible Stalker here. I'll lead on the Stalker. I guess if they Wasteland me, I'm in trouble. This was the opponent who Wastelanded me. Shit. Should have played Caracas first. Alright, time to draw Chrome Mox off the top. All right. A replacement land is still good. We're basically just playing the first turn cycle again. Like, since I found the second land, that opened up a lot of potential stress avoided. I found a third land also. So I'm going to lead on Stalker. So Stalker gets Pyroblasted, but I think that's probably okay because if I Spirit Dancer next turn and immediately play an Aura, I get a trigger off it. Oh, that's not Red Blast. Oh, they're brainstorming looking for Force of Will. I hope they force this thing. I'm rooting for them. Genuinely on their side for this one. Alright, didn't have it. Even better. So next turn I can Spirit Dancer plus put Curious Obsession on Invisible Stalker. I draw 2 cards and start pressuring for damage. Just gotta see if they have a Blazing Volley or some way to kill an Invisible Stalker once it's resolved. Even if they Pyroblast the Curious Obsession, I still draw the card off Spirit Dancer. If they counter Spirit Dancer, then I get a 2-for-1 from Force of Will. So this is lining up pretty well. They did not shuffle their library. Why not? No, that's a good reason. Wow, that's so aggressive. I hope I draw a blue source. All right, it wasn't a blue source, but it's still very good. All right, Curious Obsession. Ethereal Armor. Didn't even need a blue source. Let's just load up. Wasting when you're this far behind is crazy. I don't agree with that. I don't condone that behavior. All right, Wasteland me again. Do it, please. I'm begging you. Honestly, if they waste my Hallowed Fountain, that is kind of lame, but I'm still attacking for 4 a turn and drawing an extra card while you're putting your own lands in the graveyard. They chose to shuffle. Is this the no land drop concede? Nope, they had Scalding Tarn. Shit. Alright, land is great. If I can draw Spirit Dance or cast Spirit Dancer. Alright, I'll count Chrome Mox as a land. I'm gonna pitch Swords to Plowshares because I don't think that's gonna matter this game. I guess I should have pitched Curiosity as a second blue source. Oh, we'll see. If they Force of Will this, alright. They didn't do any of that, so I get to draw a card right away. They can't Bolt Spirit Dancer and Pyroblast Curiosity, but at this point I don't care if they do Bolt Spirit Dancer. I'd actually prefer for Curiosity to resolve over Spirit Dancer staying in play. Alright, now I'm drawing 2 cards per connect, and that added a damage to the Ethereal Armor. Spirit Mantle, not bad. Alright, let's go. What can you do about this? You can't Oko it. There's no Wrath of God in these colors. Yeah, you can try to... Uro, how quaint. I have something like that going on too. Alright, so I get a 3rd Curiosity effect plus Spirit Mantle this turn. They don't have red mana up. So I don't even have to worry about Pyroblast. They can't block anyway, but this is 2 extra damage, so I'm going to put it on. What you got? I don't think there's a spell that this deck could have that is good here. Like Curfew is a card that exists in Magic that would destroy me here. Nature's Claim. That is not the card I would have Nature's Claimed. That's very weird. Like, this card is unblockable and has hexproof anyway. Why do you care if it has protection from creatures? Yeah, I would have gone after one of the curiosities. Maybe the ethereal armor, because you can't stop all the curiosities. Ethereal armor takes like +5/+5 off this creature, though. I think I want to just play Hallowed Fountain. Now I'll get an ethereal armor on this thing. I don't think they can kill it. Let's just make it huge. Yeah, Spirit Mantle was, I think, easily the worst card to target with that Nature's Claim. Maybe they don't realize this is unblockable, and they think they can still pivot into a Coatl turn. And I hope that's what they're planning. Just blocking with Coatl this turn. Because if so, GG. Yeah, let's just go deeper. Want to make sure this is lethal. Yep. They're about to learn that they chose poorly. Should I Swords to Plowshares this thing so they don't feel bad? Nah, I'll let them feel it. All right, we did it. We put up a positive record. Yeah, so we definitely learned in this league why the modern build plays 29 auras. Like, how much time did we spend sitting there just like, come on, draw an aura, draw an aura, draw an order? So I have 4, 7, 8, 9, 13, 17, 20. I have 22 auras, which is a lot less than 29. I think, like, despite the explosiveness of Chrome Mox, I think that Chrome Mox and probably also the Teferis should just be 3 more auras if you're serious about being this deck. There's a bunch of auras, like 1 and 2 mana auras in blue and white. If you do a Scryfall search, there's so many cool options. Unstable Mutation could be one of them. Maybe just go up to the full for Curiosity, just max out that package. And like, the Force of Will was good. Teferi was never relevant. We might just have to chuck these main deck games where Teferi would be good. Like, the times it bounces an Ensnaring Bridge and wins a game are going to be way fewer than the times it's stuck in your hand as a 3-drop. So I think turning these Teferis just into Curiosities is better. Then maybe now that we have the full 12 Curiosities, we can leave the 3 Chrome Mox. Like, that, this is still a pretty healthy blue count for Force of Will. Wasteland wasn't great. Wasteland should probably just be more lands that tap for blue or white. Though I guess it was nice to have against the depths deck. So up for consideration on Wasteland, but I'm pretty sure the Teferis are no good. Sideboard was pretty strong. You can tune this to your metagame, of course. Like, depending on what you think you're going to play against, you can go more Flusterstorms if you expect Doomsday, or like you could even put Stifle in your sideboard in certain metagames, or more Seal of Cleansing, more Stony Silence, whatever. You know what I mean. So this deck surprisingly showed up. It only got absolutely outclassed by the deck that could sweep it with Terminus, and every other matchup was close. I won 3 of them. I lost 1 of them, but the deck certainly has legs. There is a lot to be said about attacking on an angle where your opponents are not ready to react. the virtual card advantage of hexproof creatures is a big deal, plus the actual card advantage of Core Spirit Dancer plus Curiosities. So thanks for watching. Thanks for submitting the deck. If you want me to play your favorite deck, that is a Patreon tier that's available. I can also do one of donation leagues. Just contact me. My information is in the video description below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.